Welcome to the Global Prayer Network with Reverend Dr. Seth O'Lardy. We pray this teaching will impact your life and bring you closer in your walk with Jesus. Let's get ready to receive today's teaching from Reverend Dr. Seth O'Lardy.
Welcome you to another Empowerment Weekday. And as you know, Empowerment Week is an opportunity for us to put into practice what it is that we are learning. You know, I was telling Mrs. Lott a few minutes ago, where did Harriet Tubman get that kind of a courage, that kind of a zeal to liberate people, take them from the South all the way up north? What an audacious decision. But when it is in you, you can't help it. I don't know what is in you today. Give God an opportunity to use you. Stop wasting time. You are not getting any younger. Many of us on this call right now, the times that we have covered are a lot more than what is ahead of us. I guarantee you that. What am I saying to you? This is the hour, the time, the moment to get to work, so that when the Lord calls you, you too can leave on the sands of time footprints that you've been this way. So we thank God for Harriet. And so Empowerment Week is a time for us to learn and put into practice, or practice and learn. Not very, very long ago, I was having a conversation with our presenter today, and she said something very, very interesting. And as you well know, Empowerment Week, we deal with your time, your talent, your temple, your treasure, your temperament, those 5 areas. And the truth is that if you are able to maximize and work those areas effectively, this is my belief. I don't know what you think, but I just believe God has something special for all of us to do in this earth. I don't believe for a moment any one of us just showed up for the sake of showing up. We're here for a reason. And experiences in our lives, they are there to do some things for us. 1, to help us to know if we're going to trust God. 2, to help us kind of understand how strong we are. And to know that by His grace, we're going to make it. So as I was sharing with her, she shared something very interesting, and it fits right into our teaching about taking care of this body. This body is a magnificent organism. You know, it is the most significant automatic engine on planet Earth. You don't have to start this body. You know, there's no battery somewhere. No. It responds to external stimuli. When you smell, you behave in a certain kind of way. When you hear, you respond in a certain kind of way. When you see, you respond. So, you know, it's amazing. This body is so amazing. And so she's going to be sharing with us today, and I'm so happy that she's going to be sharing with us. But before she does, I'm going to share with you something that you will know how great of a people we are. I'm talking about Black people. I want to say something, but I want you to please take it in the right way. You've heard it said that hurting people hurt others. You've heard that before, right? Hurting people hurt others. You know, it just dawned on me something, that the reason why people treat us the way they do, some of them now, they've been hurt. They came from hurting situations when they came from Australia, England, or wherever. They came from hurting situations. And that's why they do what they do. Lynching and racism and segregation. They've experienced that. And now they want us to experience the same thing. Look at Jesus. Jesus came from a loving, gracious environment. And so when he came to earth, he treated us just like that. But when you come from an abusive, neglected situation, you treat others the same. And that's why I want you to look at people differently through the eye of Christ. But this is what I want to share with you, and that is Charles B. Brooks. I want you to remember the name Charles B. Brooks. What is significant about Charles B. Brooks? Well, in 1896, Charles B. Brooks invented the first American self-propelled street sweeper truck. Have you ever been to the grocery store or some of these places? You see the truck passing by, sweeping the street. When you see that, remember it was an African American by the name of Charles B. Brooks. And here all along, these people were in slavery, and they had this kind of invention locked up in their system. So you see what freedom does. Freedom allows you to really give the world your best. So whatever it is that is holding you down, will you please ask God to free you so that you can give to the world your very best? I want to welcome you today. Let us pray. Gracious God, thank you for being God, for being kind, for being gracious. I pray healing. I pray deliverance. I pray deliverance and healing and breakthroughs for each of us on this call. Thank you for our presenter, Sister Angeline Cheney, and for what she's going to bless us with today. Thank you for the opportunity to share in Jesus' name. Amen.
Definitely my pleasure to be here today. When I was mentioning to Bishop Larte and missionary supervisor Larte, I didn't know they wanted me to do this presentation, but I am certainly happy to do it and just give you some of the things that I have experienced by taking this journey with food. So Bishop Larkin wanted me to talk a little bit about who I am. Well, I am the daughter of Miss Carolyn Timmons, who's on here, and she is the one that added me to this group, and I'm forever grateful for that. I am a mother to two children, two girls, Caroline and Kennedy, and I am the proud grandmother of three. I had two boys and a girl. And then I also have a special niece who calls me Ganny. That's what my grandchildren call me. And so she is like my grandchild as well, instead of being a niece. So that's a little bit about me. I also work for Apple, which I'm transitioning from in a little bit here. But I, love God with all my heart, connected to Him, and I listen to Him. So a little bit about my health journey. I am a diabetic. And I became a diabetic through a late life pregnancy. So I had diabetes, what they call gestational diabetes. And so they told me that within maybe 5 to 10 years, I would most likely be a diabetic. Well, I had always been able to eat pretty much anything that I wanted to eat. I was blessed to not have like breakouts. And I used to say, hey, I wish I was allergic to something to keep me from eating sweets a lot because I love sweets. And, once I became a diabetic, I still did not eat well. And God has truly blessed me because I know, so many people younger than myself that have succumbed to diabetes or have had amputations or things related to that disease. Um, I was advised that I would get diabetes, but there are so many people who have diabetes that they don't know it until it's too late. So I will just throw a caveat in here and say, when you have your annual checkups with, if you're not doing that, please do it. Always ask them to check your A1C levels because, like I said, so many people don't know that they have diabetes. So I went on this journey. It's a program called Sugar Ain't Sweet. And it basically teaches you how to eat, but the main thing is it's biblical based. So I do want to kind of give you some scriptures here about food and our bodies. And the first one I have is 1 Corinthians 6, and that's 19 through 20. And it says that, do you know that your body is a temple? um, and the Holy Spirit who is in you when you have received from God. You are not your own. You were bought with a price. Therefore, honor God with your body. And I don't know that we always do that. A lot of us, some people do, but I think we honor everything that God tells us to do. But when it comes to taking care of your temple, how much time do we really put into taking care of our temple? Do we eat right? Do we exercise? Um, our bodies are made up of cells. The cells, they make up tissue. Our tissues make up our organs, and our organs make up our organ systems, and those systems they make up our bodies. And so when we talk about our organ systems, we're talking about our circulatory system. We may be talking about our digestive system, um, our cardiovascular system. And so each one of those systems are very, very important to our daily living. And I'll just ask this right off. How many of you exercise?
You waiting for
Nobody?
an answer?
I'm sorry.
Are you waiting for an answer?
Yes.
Oh,
So I see Brother Warren says that I do.
Betty
So
Landon says she does.
okay, super. And so with exercise, exercise doesn't have to be going to the gym. Someone said guilty. Okay. And that's okay because guess what? I exercise off and on. I've been on that yo-yo cycle where, I feel like I really want to get myself in shape and I will exercise. And then I stop. Something happens, life happens, right? But I do encourage everybody to exercise. And if you are having some health issues, you don't want to do extreme things. So walk. Walking 15 minutes, if you are like a diabetic, that will help your numbers to stabilize. You can walk after your meal. 15 minutes will definitely do something. And I was always one who liked to exercise hard. I had to sweat to really feel like I did something. But that's not true. And when I was doing right and monitoring my blood glucose levels, I would walk and then I felt better and my numbers would stabilize. So I do encourage everyone walk. Right now, I'm doing a raw week where I'm only eating raw vegetables, and we were encouraged in this program, to exercise 45 minutes before we ate, and then 45 minutes after our last meal. So the way my schedule is, I, really was hard to put it in. So I said, what am I going to do? So I am fortunate I work at home, so I have a standing desk. I just put on some music and dance. So, like yesterday, I worked out to Kirk Franklin's High Energy mix, and I just danced for 45 minutes. And, I felt great afterwards. I have a problem with sleeping. These last few days that I've been working out, I have slept better, slept solid, didn't wake up. So, exercise is definitely something that is great for the body. Now, the other thing I'm going to get in, and um, no judgment, I'm just putting the information out there, is food. And food is definitely one of the things that I think a lot of us may overindulge or we eat the wrong things. Um, so how many people know, and I can just look at the chat here, when you think about food, and I'll say particularly sweets, how many people have a sweet tooth? And you can just respond in the chat. Nobody? Well, that's good because yes, I see iPhone 10 says yes. Sometimes, okay. So, how many people think of food as an addiction? And I'm just asking that because it's important to understand. Well, food addictions to sweets, or a lot of carbs, things you say, hey, I can't put down, or I just have to have that piece of cake. It is an addiction. And it's no different than drugs or alcohol because when our bodies feel like, we need something and we can't put it down, yes, it's an addiction. And so I was one of those, especially when I get stressed or I'm doing something, I like sweets. And, I would have bags of candy on my desk or, cake or ice cream. And it's okay to do some of those things in moderation, right? But when you feel like you just have to have it or you walk past it and, I just need to have that piece of cake. Yes, that food has become an addiction. And when I started this program, one of the principles that they gave us is to not make food your God. So for me, that's what helped me get over, um, get past this. And when I first started, I went over to my sister's house and she had a big red velvet cake. And I love red velvet cake. And I had just started and she said, it's in there on the table. And I looked at it and my first thought was, oh, just a little piece won't hurt me. But then I thought about it. Don't make food my God. And I was able to walk away from it and just leave it there. So I think a lot of it too is a mindset. But one of the things we do is we ask God to help us with those addictions, and He can remove those things from us. Anything that we ask of Him, He can definitely do. Um, so with a lot of the foods that we eat, um, a lot of those foods do have toxins in them. One of the other things that we do is we read labels, and there is an app that I'm going to put in the chat. But it's a app where you can scan foods, and it will tell you, is this food good for you? Or it will tell you the toxins that's in there, and it will give you like other recommendations that you can use instead of that particular item. Um, so in this journey, I have become good at reading labels. And I love, like, one of the things, I love beets. Well, beets have a lot of sugar in them, depending on the brand. So, like yesterday, I was in Publix with mom, and I went over and I said, I'm going to get some beets. And the first thing I did, I turned around and looked at the label, and one of them had so much sugar in it. And it was one of the top brands. Well, no, it wasn't actually just natural sugar. It had included other sugars. So that's another thing. You do have, you know, fruits and foods that have natural sugar, but that's why you should read that label, because a lot of foods include additional sugar that they put in your food. And so sugar is bad on the body. It can cause inflammation. So a lot of what I've learned is a lot of the aches and pains we have is not just old age. It's sugar that we're putting in our bodies that cause that inflammation. And so that's one of the things I've been able to get up and not feel so sore. So, when we get up in the morning and we're hurting, a lot of times that can be sugar. And if you eliminate that from your diet, and we can't eliminate it totally, because our fruits have sugar in it, but you do, especially if you're diabetic, you want to stay away from certain fruits or eat them, I would say, in small quantities. Things like pineapple and grapes are one of the items that have a ton of sugar. So if you're going to eat grapes, get you maybe 6 to 10 grapes at a time, and leave, don't sit there and eat like I used to do. I might eat like the little, stem. Um, so, I would just encourage that, is watch your sugar intake, and you can look at how much sugar is in fruit as well, and just limit that. Um, Vegetables, your salads, your collard greens or any type of greens, your kale, those are really, really great to eat. Yeah, I see someone said they eat red or dark grapes. Tanya, I don't know the amount of sugar that's in those grapes, because they typically just say grapes. They may have less sugar than the green grapes, but of course the red grapes do have resveratrol in it, which is good for your heart. But I definitely would say you may still want to limit the number of grapes that you eat. Um, and so getting back to like your greens, you definitely want to eat your greens. They will help your bodily functions. One thing I asked missionary supervisor, I didn't know if she wanted me to share, but she said yes. So I'm going to talk about our digestive system a little bit, and going to the bathroom and having bowel movements. Um, a lot of times we face constipation. I was not a regular person. And I will tell you, I always tell mom, like, I'm envious of people who go to the bathroom, 2 times a day, because I have literally had times where it might be 8 to 10 days before I would have a bowel movement. And so that, of course, is not healthy for our bodies at all, because you have the fecal constipation that is, in your intestines, in your stomach. Yeah, way too long. But that's how I was. And the only way I could go is to take like a laxative. And so that alone is saying, hey, something's wrong in my body. Um, and we look at stuff like, colon cancer. When you have all of that stuck in your system, it definitely is not healthy for your body. But now, since I've been eating right, eating vegetables, cooking, my food, because I had gotten to the point my children are grown, I don't cook a lot. And so, when I would get off late, I might run out and grab some fast food, which I'm totally not supposed to have. But definitely, now that I'm eating a balanced diet, then I'm able to go. And so my system, I'm putting good, nutritious food in my body, and my system is working a whole lot better. Um, and then, I will tell you, I did, like last week, fall off the wagon. And yeah, I'm human. And, I fell off the wagon a little bit, and I had some things, and my body let me know. I felt sluggish. I felt tired. And so just having my body do that, I'm like, hey, you know, I can't have those days like that, because it definitely made a difference in my body. Um, and so with that, I would encourage you. I saw somebody say they take a probiotic. Yes, a lot of people do those. I haven't tried them really on a consistent basis, so I don't know how they would interact with my body. But a lot of doctors, a lot of people do recommend doing that to keep your system moving right. So thank you, Reverend Marie, for sharing that with the group. Yes, they can. Um, so one of the things that I would encourage you, and it's kind of the method that we're working on in the program that I'm in, is one, eat God's food. And so, what is God's food? Well, meats, vegetables, fruits, nuts, legumes. God wasn't walking around eating a bunch of cake and cookies. I'm just gonna put it out there. Now, surely, we have celebrations and things, and I'm not saying that, hey, you can't eat it, but just don't overindulge in it. Um, there are some people who take meat off the table, and if there are vegetarians who they just don't believe in eating meat. Now, when you're eating a balanced meal, you definitely need to have some protein, your vegetables, and carbs, and because they all do something important for your system. So the plan that I'm on, we do eat meats. This is just one of the weeks we have a raw week where we don't put anything in our bodies except for vegetables. And I would encourage you to try it. Um, it hasn't been hard for me. I pray about it, and I ask God to give me the strength and the guidance to be able to eat this way for my health, because at the end of the day, we don't want to be hurting. We don't, want to feel like everything we're in pain. And so this has helped me to get some of the toxins out of our bodies. And I will tell you, in the US, we allow so many additives into our bodies. Yes, less sweeteners. Sweeteners are one of the things that I can't have, like I shouldn't have it. They take that off the table. So no sweeteners. They really don't do coffee. Water is what we drink. Um, and I will tell you that, yes, I have, like today, I had to have some coffee because I was running here and there and I didn't get to bed until really late and I was finishing up this presentation. Yes, I love coffee too. Um, I will tell you, Tanya, that is something I'm dealing with because normally when I make a cup of coffee, I only end up drinking half of it. And so I know that I can do without it, but today I was tired and I had it and I didn't beat myself up about it. I didn't put any sweeteners in there, any artificial sweeteners. Um, what I had was a cashew milk. And I put a little bit of that in it because it's just cashews and water. The brand that I use, just cashews and water. And I drank that and I didn't finish it either. So part of it is still sitting on my desk. But um definitely, water and what they recommend is drinking spring water and drinking spring water and drinking half your weight in water. So that can be challenging. What I have a cup that has about 32 ounces. It's about a 32-ounce cup. So I try to get in 3 of those. Right now, I am 183. At my at my largest weight, I think I was like 215. Now, I have I had lost some weight before I started this. But I'm down now since I've been doing this. I'm about 6 pounds down. And really and they tell us this is not so much for the weight loss because if you're eating right, you will lose the weight. So they pretty much say, hey, stay off the scale. Because that's a mind thing as well. It's like, well, I've only lost a pound, or, I've only lost 2 pounds. And why am I doing this if I'm not losing weight? It it's taken me, and I'll say us, so long to get into a state where we're either overweight or, we have some health issues. So it's not going to disappear overnight. It is a process and it's meant to be a lifestyle. Um, I will share with you the Sugar Ain't Sweet website, what I'm doing. But basically, the things that I'm sharing, um, you can incorporate definitely in your daily walk. You can incorporate that. So I would encourage everyone, if you are having some health issues, if you do want to clean out your system, just simply start by doing some modifications. It is a lifestyle change. Definitely is a lifestyle change. So the three principles I said, we eat God's food and you want to eat it as close to its natural state as possible. So you can roast veggies. If you have an air fryer, you can use that to air fry your chicken and things like that so that you aren't putting it in all the grease and putting all that grease into your body. And then the last thing, like I said up front, is don't make food your God. So think about that, when you're saying, "Oh, I'm just a sugar addict." Take that addiction away from you and don't let it be your God. So I thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to present this information. And now, oh, alkaline water. So good question. So one of the things that they taught us, if you're drinking spring water, the alkaline is there. So I know one of the brands, a couple of them I saw the other day is Crystal Geyser. And I see that one, I think in like the dollar stores. Poland is one. Um, I'm drinking the one I get it from Publix. It's a spring water. Deer Park is one, which I didn't know Deer Park was a spring water. Um, so that's one as well. So there are some out there, they said you don't have to get the alkaline, you just drink the spring water. Yes. And for people who, don't like to drink out of bottles, because some people don't don't like drinking. Somebody said they just don't like drinking out of the bottles like that. They suggest, hey, put it in a glass, a pretty glass, and drink it. Or, there are places where you can get the water delivery. That's something it may be cheaper. Our Sam's, they don't have spring water for some reason, and I don't know why, but I've never been able to find spring water in Sam's. So I may have to go online and order it because it definitely would be cheaper. So yeah, any questions?
I have a few.
Sure. Go ahead.
Sam do have spring water. Well, in Montgomery they do.
Right.
But also, I don't know how to adjust my eating habits because the doctor told me I can only have lean meat and green vegetable water. That's it. And I'm
Okay.
like, he's insane. I can, it's I haven't done it since the time he told me because it's like I like vegetables,
Okay.
but ever since he said that I've been eating fast food and it don't help my body at all. It don't helps me because I have grave disease. I have the one that gains weight, so
Okay.
I have to watch every little thing.
You eat.
And I'm like, I want to be obedient,
Okay.
especially to God's word, about it's His temple.
Mm-hmm.
But I still be like putting stuff. I'm like,
Okay.
that ain't right. And then I just eat it. I'm like, God, please help me.
So let me give you a couple scriptures. One definitely is 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 20. And that talks about your body being a temple. And so you know, like I know, and I definitely understand where you're coming from, my sister. You have to do it because when you're putting all that fast food, it tends to make you feel sluggish. If you're like me, I wasn't my best self. I'm tired. I wasn't sleeping good. So I definitely would give you that one. And then the other one is Hebrews 12 and 16. And that's the one it talks about where Esau, gave away his birthright for a bowl of porridge. So, you know, you have to make a decision. And that's basically what it is. And so if you want to honor God with your body, um, definitely I would encourage you to do that, to read those scriptures and, ask God for strength. Um, and just try it. Just try it. Get you some vegetables, eat some broccoli, some spinach, your green beans, your lean meats. Yes. And you can it's not bad. I mean, since I've changed my eating, it's definitely not bad. And my daughter, my youngest daughter, she's been eating along with me. Um, you might backslide, but give yourself grace and forgive yourself for doing that. But think about why you want to eat better because of your Graves' disease, because of your children, because of your grandchildren. So I would just encourage you to, read those scriptures and meditate on that. And like I said, just think God is, I mean, don't make your food your God.
Okay, man, what was that first verse?
That was 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20.
6.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon. This is Carolyn Timmons, and Sister Angie, I don't have a question. However, I would like to thank you for such an invaluable and informative presentation. And I
Thank you.
do believe that it gave all of us a little bit of food for thought. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you. And real quick, you guys, one of the things that I forgot to mention, um, our children, and our grandchildren, because we give them so many things. And you may have heard people, and I used to say this, the dyes that are in our food. And what I got distracted when I was talking about what we approve, the FDA approves in the US. Other countries don't put those additives in their foods. And so we've got to learn to give them healthy snacks. It's quick. I did it too. But when we look at ADHD, um, autism, allergies, eczema, things like that, a lot of it is related to food. And there's so many additives in our food. Um, the the website that I use, or the app that I use to scan foods, is called Wake Up. And it tells me, what's in there. And so we feed these things to ourselves, but not only that, our children. And, when we're doing exercise, I encourage you to get your little ones, even if they just do jumping jacks, do 25 jumping jacks in moderation. Walk, have them walk to the corner. If you're not able to do a lot of walk, take them with you and walk. So that's what I wanted to say. That, yeah, hormones, all of these things in the food definitely affect our hormones, and our hormones affect the balance in our bodies. And with the cells, when we put these things in here, it damages our cells. And like I said, our cells make tissues, tissues make organs, organs they do our organism system and our body, and they go into our bodies. So that's definitely. Let me see. I see a question here, but I don't see it all. So let me open it up. Reverend Corba, give me 1 second. What is best for the last intake of food before bed? Well, that I would say definitely carbs. And years ago, when everybody did that fin thing, I did that crazy thing too. But one of the things I have heard, carbs, definitely try to eat carbs at the latest 4 o'clock. You can have you some protein, you might could have you some fruit, um, and water. Water is going to be the best thing you can have. But if you just need to have something, get you some berries. You want to avoid, like, even down to bananas are good for some people, but bananas I found out are really high in sugar. So you don't want to have a banana. But maybe an apple. Apples and berries are really your fruits that are lower in sugar. So those are the berries that, those are the fruits if you have to have something you want to eat. Natural peanut butter with some celery is a good snack. And again, look at the labels, but they look at the natural peanut butters or the almond butters. Those are things that are really great as a snack. Cucumbers. Cucumbers have a lot of water in them. So I will dice me up, about 3 cucumbers, put them in a bowl, and I may even put some apple cider vinegar on them, and I just eat them as a snack, or you can just eat them without the apple cider vinegar. Somebody said I also use a supplement. Quercetin helps with free radicals. Not sure. I can't speak to that, but I have heard of that supplement. the lady who does Sugar Ain't Sweet Academy, she doesn't, they do use vitamins. They use the Shackley vitamins. Now they're very expensive. I have not invested in them. Um, they don't really recommend a lot of supplements, but if your doctor has okayed it, I would say, take it, read up on it, and see what you can find out about it, because I personally have not used that. But they really totally believe if you eat right, your body will start healing itself. So yeah. And then what do you think about honey that some of us use especially? Yeah. Um, so this program, they don't do honey. They stay away because honey is sugar. And so even though I think the Manuka honey has some healing properties to it, I would say just something in moderation. I love honey too, but I personally have not used it here. I try if I want something sweet or I feel like I need something sweet. I've been doing the almond butter, or the natural peanut butter with an apple. Okay, someone said, yeah, honey is too sweet. Yeah. Um, and you will find once you start eating this way, your sweet tooth will start diminishing. And there are people we have a private Facebook group, and somebody said one day they had like a tangerine, and they said it was so sweet they couldn't stand to finish eating it. So, you know, people are really having a lot of success with this. And okay, yes, it does diminish. So, were there any other questions? I want to be respectful of time. I think we have about 7 minutes.
Bless the Lord. Bless the Lord. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Hill. You answered my question about the app. I just want to say thank you. I chimed in about 10 minutes after you started, and I am so thankful for the information that you gave.
Bless
I
you.
bless
Thank
God for you. Thank you. I'm going to visit the website and see. I don't do the meat. I'm vegan, and I
Yes.
try to do the fruits and the vegetables and the nuts.
Yes.
And my suggestion is if you can eat some raw vegetable, go for it. Thank you, woman of God, for the information. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed you yesterday. I was working, but still enjoyed everything you said. It was very inspiring, and I'm going to buy the book and read that. But yes, I would encourage everybody, try you a raw week, or try you some, raw days. My mom was asking me about mushrooms. She said, "You eat those mushrooms uncooked?" Yes. I slice up portobello mushrooms, some spring mix, some arugula. I tried different things. Some people even do collard green wraps. Now, I always thought raw collard greens were bitter. I'm gonna try it. But I would encourage that we try and do a eating plan. Not start off raw, but if we can try to eat right, and Bishop Larte can get with us, and maybe we can do a week and just see how it goes. Just see how it goes for everyone and see how you feel. And then we can do something further.